Thank you. People. Thank you, people, for coming today. A very short event, as always. But as you know, today is the first of the 16 days of activism for the elimination of violence against women. My club, Through Optimists International Barnstaple District, has been hosting this event for several years now, and we thank you for coming. It's a good turnout today. We can all name the woman in the very high-profile murder case that occurred earlier this year. But from then up to September this year, 81 other women were allegedly killed by a man. Can we name them? No, didn't think so. Of course we can't. 62% of these women were identified as being killed by a partner or ex-partner, and at least a third were in the process of leaving the relationship or had left. I'm going to ask Simone to read, please.
I am a woman of abuse. I am the woman next door. I'm the woman who called 911. I'm the woman sitting next to you on the bus. I am the woman who served you lunch. I am the woman in line in the supermarket. I am the woman you ignore. Stop and look. Stop and listen. Stop and care. There are many of us out there waiting for you to step in and care.
Thanks, Simone. In the 5 years to March 2020, on average, 12 men a year had been killed by a partner or ex-partner. During the pandemic, the organisation Mankind saw calls to its helpline rise by a quarter and visits to its website by 75%. 11% of male victims have considered taking their own lives due to partner abuse. I'm going to ask the Mayor to read.
Thank you, Irene. Good morning. This is my third occasion that I've actually stood here in front of many of you. She left no bruises. She never hit and she never struck. So there was never any concerns. For she left no bruises, no marks, no damage. And she loved me the next day. When she mocked me in front of my friends and told them I was a poor mate, I physically inadequate, and whoever would take me must be delusional and desperate. These statements were only made in jest. They left no bruises, you see, and taking it personally was only a fault of mine. When friends witnessed and asked me if it had happened often, I assured them that I understood. There was no reason for concern, for she left no bruises. And it was my job to defend myself. Surely there was never danger. Surely there was never no harm, for she left no bruises, no marks, no damage, and she loved me the next day.
There are survivors of domestic abuse. I'm going to ask Helen to
A lie. There comes a time when you have to forget, when nothing is left, when things buried have been brought to light, burned away, and the ashes scattered to the winds. There comes a time when nothing is left, when all sounds have faded away, even that's a goodbye. I would love to say part of me still cherishes you, but it would be a lie.
Thanks, Helen. We've got ribbons. We've got orange ribbons that now signify the elimination of violence against women, and white ribbons. The white ribbons are to do with the White Ribbon campaign. In Ontario, Canada, in 1989, a group of men witnessed the massacre of some women students, and in 1991 they set up the White Ribbon campaign, which is now worldwide. So please take ribbons from my ladies and wear them with pride for the 16 days of violence. Thank you to the Town Council who are going to light up the clock in orange for the 16 days, which goes up to the 10th of December, Human Rights Day. Superintendent Toby Davis would like to say a few words.
Is this work? Yes, it is down here. Okay, thank you very much for inviting myself, and there's lots of police colleagues, some in uniform, some not, down here today as well for the 16 days of activism to end violence versus women. In our area, you made reference to the Sarah Everard case, and in our area there is no doubt in my mind, and a lot of the partners that share the same view, that the most likely way that women and girls are going to come to harm is going to be behind closed doors and with someone you know. And we know that a third of our violent crime is domestic abuse related, and we also know for every report that we have, there are 30 reports that don't get made through to us, to police or to other services. So for me, it's absolutely right that we as a police force and our partners have domestic abuse and violence against women and girls as a whole as a priority. And there's some really good stuff that's already going on in this area. I wouldn't have time to talk about it today, but I do hope that today will just help raise that awareness out there, and at the same time encourage the reporting of domestic abuse that's going on, and that people don't suffer in silence, and that we also show by the number of people that we have here that there's so much community support out there for victims, and for victims the support is there if you make that report. We all know that domestic abuse, domestic violence transcends all society, irrespective of race, age, societal status as well. So I think the show of strength today is amazing, and thank you very much for inviting myself and all of our colleagues down here today as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Toby. Now we're going to do some petal scattering, as we always do. My ladies will hand out some petals to you. And please, as we scatter them, can we think about the women that have been affected by domestic abuse, and can we think about those that haven't survived? Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Let's go. Have you done it on? I have.